The Backrooms Part 1 if you're not careful. If you're not careful and you knocklip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the backrooms. A phrase aparece pela primera vez uma postigem quaes esquisita no forchan. Apenas uma imagem granulada corredor amarillo, sem janelas, com carpe humido, e luzes fluorescentes que zumbiam como enzame distante. Neo havia legenda, neo havia explicao, apenas aquil espaço inhospito e vazio, como esse algo que existis fora, do tempo tivesse sido registrado por acidente. Ninguém sabia o certo o que era. Mas todos, de alguma forma, sentiram que já estiveram lá antes. Candle, the origin of the legend. In 2019, the internet slowly became obsessed with a concept known as the backrooms. Unlike typical creepypastas that centered around monsters or serial killers, this one focused on a space, a world that felt too real to be fake and too fake to be real. The original image spread quickly. Within hours, people were replying, "I've dreamed of this place. I was there as a kid. That's the worst nightmare I've ever had." Entire forums sprang up dedicated to mapping it out. A new mythos was born, one of existential dread, spatial horror, and isolation. File folder. What is knocklipping? In video games, knocklip is a cheat command that allows the player to pass through walls and boundaries, ignoring the rules of the game world. But what if you did that in real life? The Backrooms legend says if you knocklip out of reality at just the wrong moment, maybe while walking past an abandoned building, during a traumatic event, or even in a dream, you could fall into the backrooms, a liminal, endless space outside of existence. A place you were never meant to see. A place you might never escape. Derelict house, a world with no exit. Once inside, everything feels off. The rooms repeat endlessly. The walls shift when you're not looking. Time loses meaning. And the sounds are not just ambient. You hear something dragging itself along the floor beyond the wall. Something that knows you're there. Some believe the backrooms exist between dimensions, a broken layer beneath the surface of our reality. Like a glitched texture in a video game that you somehow fell through. Brain, why is it so scary? The horror of the backrooms isn't about blood or monsters. It's about isolation. It's the fear of being forgotten, of being stuck in an endless, unchanging space that feels real but isn't. It's the terror of familiarity gone wrong. The fluorescent lights are just a little too loud. The walls are too close. And the carpet feels like it's always wet. Brick liminal space horror. Liminal comes from the Latin limen, meaning threshold, a space between two states. The backrooms are the ultimate liminal space. They are not a beginning. They are not an end. They are the in-between, and there is no going back. That's why so many people feel like they've seen it in a dream. The backrooms live in the part of your brain that remembers corridors from old schools, dead malls, and empty office buildings. Places once full of people, now completely silent, uncomfortably still. Magnifying glass tilted left structure of the nightmare. The backrooms are more than just an endless hallway. There are levels, zones, and even entities. Each level is more dangerous, more unstable. Some are silent. Others scream. Some are dark. Others breathe. You are not walking through a building. You're walking through the error of a universe. You shouldn't be here. That phrase is written on the wall in level 1. But you don't read it with your eyes. You remember it, like you've seen it before. Like it came from your own thoughts. Compass ready? Let's move deeper. Yellow circle the backrooms, part 2. Levels 0 to 10 plus. The backrooms are said to contain hundreds of levels. But some are more well-known, more feared. Below are the most documented, each with unique dangers, rules, and mysteries. Black medium small square level 0, the lobby. Appearance, endless yellow corridors. Damp carpet, fluorescent buzz. Mold, danger level, moderate. Entities, few, but possibly present smilers, hounds. Notes, most people arrive here first. The rooms shift subtly, disorienting anyone trying to map them. Many wander here for weeks before realizing they're not alone. Black medium small square level 1, habitable zone. Appearance, dimmer lights, concrete walls, scattered debris. Sounds of dripping water. Danger level, high. Entities aggressive. Includes dullers, faceless. Survival tip, follow industrial sounds. Some areas have almond water, a healing fluid. Level 1 is more real than level 0, which makes it more dangerous. Black medium small square, level 2, pipe dreams. Appearance, tight maintenance tunnels. Hot steam vents. Warning signs. Danger level, extreme. Entities, fast, hostile, especially skin stealers. Temperature can reach 120 degrees Fahrenheit 49 degrees Celsius or higher. You can smell the metal. You can hear something crawling in the vents. Black medium small square level 3, the factory. Appearance, endless mechanical halls, conveyor belts, steam. Danger level very high. Entities, numerous and violent. Other notes, hard to breathe. Loud sounds. No natural light. People who reach level 3 often don't return. Black medium small square level 4, office complex. Appearance, empty gray offices, functional computers, vending machines. Danger level, low deceptively. Entities, very few, until they find you. Perks, almond water found here often. Electricity is stable. This level pretends to be safe. Black medium small square level 5, the hotel. Appearance, luxurious Victorian hotel. Chandeliers. Red carpet. Dusty. Danger level variable. Entities, extremely intelligent. Some mimic humans. Notes, you'll hear music playing from empty rooms. Never fall asleep here. The dreams are worse than the level itself. Black medium small square level 6, lights out. Appearance, complete darkness. Total silence. Danger level, unknown. Entities, unknown but they're there. Tips, don't make sound. Don't breathe too loud. This level breaks people. Black medium small square level 7, the ocean. Appearance, an infinite ocean inside a hollowed-out building. Danger level, drowning creatures. Entities, the thing beneath the waves. Survival, few make it across the waters. You can't see the bottom, but it sees you. Black medium small square, level 8, the cave. Appearance, a natural cavern system. Wet, dark, echoing. Danger level, high. Entities, spider-like creatures. Sensitive to sound. Notes, watch the walls, they sometimes move. It's not just the darkness. The walls are listening. Black medium small square, level 9, suburban nightmare. Appearance, nighttime suburban streets. No people. No sky. Danger level, psychological. Entities, human-like shadows. Reality, doors sometimes open to impossible rooms. Looks like your old neighborhood, but your house is wrong. Black medium small square, level 10, the fields. Appearance, wheat fields. Wooden barns. Fences that go nowhere. Danger level, deceptive. Entities, few but the wind speaks. Tip, stay near the path. If it vanishes, you're already lost. Sometimes, the scarecrow turns its head. Door part 2. The levels of the backrooms, level 0 to 4. The backrooms aren't just endless yellow corridors. As reports spread across forums, a terrifying structure began to emerge. The backrooms are divided into levels, each with its own architecture, laws of physics, entities, and hazards. What you're about to read is a descent into madness. The deeper the level, the more detached from reality it becomes. Yellow circle level 0, the lobby. The carpet is moist. The lights buzz endlessly. The air feels too thick to breathe. You are alone. Or so you think. This is where it all begins. Level 0 is the image that started it all. Endless, empty yellow rooms, the smell of mold and dust in the air, damp carpeting underfoot. There are no windows, no exits, no doors that lead anywhere meaningful. It is said to span hundreds, possibly millions, of square miles. No two wanderers experience level 0 the same way. The layout shifts when you're not looking. Landmarks vanish. Hallways you just walked through are now gone. You're not hallucinating. The backrooms are alive. And worse, you're not alone. Entities here are rare but exist. People report shadowy figures darting just out of view. Sometimes the lights flicker, and you hear breathing that isn't your own. Gear level 1, habitable zone. Lights dim. Machinery hums. You find debris, evidence of others who came before you and never left. If you're lucky or unlucky enough to escape level 0, you'll fall into level 1. Here, the walls are industrial and cold, lined with concrete. Loud mechanical sounds echo throughout. Generators, fans, metal creaking. The environment seems more structured than level 0, with stairwells, warehouse rooms, and corridors filled with crates and abandoned objects. Scattered supplies suggest others have tried to survive here. And some still do. But don't trust everyone. The main threat? Hounds, canine-shaped entities with human-like faces that move fast and are extremely hostile. Some say they were once people. Others say they're what happens when you stay too long. Fire level 2, the pipe dreams. Heat, rust, shadows moving behind the pipes. Something is watching you. Something is hungry. Level 2 is a claustrophobic nightmare. It resembles a boiler room with narrow corridors and large pipes running along the ceiling and walls. The air is hot and dry, sometimes burning to breathe. Sounds of scuttling metal feet echo in the dark. Entities here are far more aggressive. Faceless, humanoid figures with no facial features, are common. So are skin stealers, creatures that wear the flesh of those they kill to blend in. People vanish here, and their voices still call out through the pipes, long after they're gone. Droplet level 3, the electrical station. The power is unstable. Lights flash red. Sirens howl from nowhere. You find a door. You open it. It leads deeper. Level 3 is one of the most dangerous early levels. Imagine an endless factory lit by red warning lights. You'll find electrical wires hanging from ceilings, machines that still run despite no power source, and doors that lead to nowhere, or worse. Time behaves strangely here. Spend an hour, and your watch reads a week. Some wanderers report seeing versions of themselves in the distance, older, disfigured, insane. Electric-based entities lurk here. So do smilers, floating mouths filled with teeth, visible only when they smile in the darkness. You don't want them to smile at you. Soap level 4, the office. Carpeted floors. Office cubicles. Abandoned coffee mugs. Computers still humming. This was never an office. Level 4 looks normal. Almost. Fluorescent lighting, gray office walls, filing cabinets, and endless rows of cubicles. It might feel comforting after level 3. That's a trap. There are no people. No windows. No clocks. Just the illusion of routine. Some say this level is meant to trick you, to make you forget where you are, to lull you into compliance. You could spend days here convinced you're working, only to realize you haven't moved in hours. The only beings you'll meet are the dullers, silent, slow-moving shadows that feed off your willpower. Not to kill you, but to make you stay. Forever. Candle Part 3, levels 5 to 10, and hidden layers of reality. As you descend deeper into the backrooms, something changes. The laws of physics decay. Time unravels. The spaces you enter seem increasingly hostile, but also intelligent. These are not just levels. They are pockets of consciousness watching you. Bellhop Bell level 5, the hotel. Ornate carpets. Chandelier-lit halls. The distant sound of a piano. But no guests. Only eyes behind the curtains. Level 5 resembles an old luxury hotel from the early 1900s. Velvet walls, mahogany doors, dim golden lighting. There's even music, soft, eerie jazz playing from unseen speakers. But don't be fooled. The deeper you walk, the stranger it gets. Some hallways stretch forever. Others loop. Mirrors reflect other versions of you. And then there are the entities. The beast of level 5 is real. No one who sees it survives. Those who hear it say it sounds like someone calling your name from inside the walls. Sometimes it mimics loved ones. And when you follow the voice, you vanish. Black Circle level 6, lights out. Total darkness. No sound. No walls. No hope. Only fear. Level 6 is pure blackness. Flashlights fail. Voice recorders distort. Even your own footsteps feel distant. Here, your mind becomes your worst enemy. Entities in level 6 are rarely seen, but often felt. Some call them the Whisperers. They brush against your face, crawl into your ears, implant thoughts that are not your own. Some wanderers walk into level 6 and never return. Others re-emerge blind, incoherent, driven mad by what they heard in the dark. Never trust your senses here. Water wave level 7, the ocean. Water up to your waist. Black waves. No sky. No surface. Only a single house in the distance, sinking slowly. Level 7 is completely submerged in water, save for one structure, a decaying Victorian house floating on nothing. Inside, gravity warps. Rooms rotate. Water flows up. The real horror, however, lies beneath. There is something vast and alive swimming in level 7, the thing that dwells below. Its eye is the size of a car. It doesn't chase you. It waits. Some say it's not a creature at all, but the physical embodiment of fear itself. Spider level 8, the caverns. Tight caves. Dripping water. Flickering torches left behind. Then the skittering. Level 8 is a massive underground cave system, full of bioluminescent fungus and bone piles. Here, the temperature drops. The walls breathe, and the spiders come. Death moths, giant crawlers, and the infamous skinwalkers dominate this level. The caverns twist and change behind you, erasing your path. Some survivors claim level 8 is alive, responding to fear. If you panic, it chokes you. If you're calm, it lets you go deeper. Deeper to where? Night with Stars level 9, the suburban nightmare. You recognize the street, the houses, even the streetlight flickering overhead. But it's always 3 a.m., and the windows are watching you. Level 9 looks like an ordinary suburban neighborhood in the middle of the night. The air is cold. The stars don't move. The mailboxes have no names. It feels familiar, like a dream you forgot. That's how it hunts you. Windows may open slightly when you're not looking. Garage doors creak slowly open. Silhouettes appear behind curtains. If you knock, they knock back. This level is filled with imposters, humanoid figures that mimic loved ones and neighbors. Their smiles are too wide. Their eyes too still. Don't answer the door. Sheaf of rice level 10, fields of grain. Golden wheat as far as the eye can see. The wind never stops, and something large moves beneath the soil. Level 10 is eerily peaceful. Endless wheat fields under a pale sky. But you are never alone. The fields are silent, yet footsteps echo behind you. You may find scarecrows that weren't there before. Sometimes they wear clothes eerily similar to yours. And below the dirt, something stirs. Known only as the Buried, this entity is said to be ancient, older than the Backrooms themselves. It moves slowly, responding to vibrations above. People vanish into the earth. Without a sound. Without a trace. Cyclone beyond level 10, the fracture. Beyond level 10, the very structure of reality begins to break down. Some report levels that loop endlessly into themselves. Others discover hidden negative levels, like level -1, a frozen, white void where time has stopped. Level Fun, smiley face, a place full of clown-faced entities who are always smiling, always watching. Level, a realm of constant chase, where an unknown force pursues you non-stop, forever. And then, there's the end, a black room with a single message on the wall. You've made it, but you were never meant to. Is it a way out? Or the beginning of something even worse? Zombie Part 4, Entities of the Backrooms and Their Horrific Origins. Not every shadow is empty. Not every smile is friendly. Not every voice is human. The Backrooms are not just endless hallways or decaying architecture. They are inhabited by entities that defy logic, biology, and sanity. Some are aggressive, others indifferent. But none of them are truly alive. Face without mouth facelings. They look like people. Until they turn around. Facelings resemble humans in shape, height, posture, even clothing. But their faces are blank. No eyes. No mouth. Just smooth, skin-like surfaces where expressions should be. They don't speak. They don't blink. They just stand in hallways or appear in crowds, silently watching. There are several types. Child facelings, harmless, often playful. But they vanish if followed. Adult facelings, tall and still. They ignore you, unless provoked. Worker facelings, dressed in janitor uniforms. Always cleaning. Their mops leave behind bloodstains that were never there before. No one knows where they came from. Some say they're the remnants of wanderers who forgot their identity. Lost souls with no face left to wear. Smiling face with horned smilers. The teeth come first. Then the eyes. Then nothing. Smilers are perhaps the most feared creatures in the Backrooms. They manifest in total darkness as a wide, glowing smile and two gleaming white eyes. You'll see them at the end of hallways, just outside the flashlight beam. Staring. And smiling. They are extremely aggressive. The moment you make eye contact or shine your light directly at them, they attack. Smilers don't run. They glide, with impossible speed and complete silence. Survivors report hearing laughter before losing consciousness. Never turn off your flashlight. But also never point it at what's hiding. Party popper partygoers. It's always someone's birthday. And you're the surprise. The partygoers are humanoid entities dressed like cartoonish party clowns. Their skin is yellow and stretched tight, their faces frozen in a permanent smile. But behind that smile is madness. They lure wanderers with decorations, music, balloons. Inside Level Fun's smiley face, the walls are covered with streamers. Cupcakes are lined up on long tables. and laughter echoes through the corridors. That laughter is not human. Partygoers are intelligent, manipulative, and organized. Once you're inside level fun, it's already too late. You will become part of the celebration. And the celebration never ends. DNA wretches. They used to be like you. Then the Backrooms changed them. Wretches are not born, they are made. These are former wanderers who've lost hope, food, or sanity. Their bodies twist and mutate into grotesque forms, elongated limbs, torn flesh, black eyes, and claws that scrape across the tiles. They scream in pain. Some cry out in words they no longer remember. The process of becoming a wretch is called retching, and it can happen to anyone. All it takes is hunger, fear, and time. There is no cure, no mercy. If you see one, remember, that could be you someday. The Hound. It moves on all fours. But it's not an animal. It was never an animal. Hounds are feral, humanoid entities that crawl with terrifying speed. They are hairless, gaunt, and howl like wolves, but their faces are almost human, twisted with rage and hunger. Some theorize that hounds are a failed version of human cloning, experiments gone wrong. Others believe they're created when a person dies violently in the Backrooms. Hounds travel in packs. If one spots you, run. Hide. Do not make a sound. If you hear them sniffing under the door, don't breathe. Mantelpiece clock, time distortions, the lost children. Not every danger is visible. Some are temporal. Several levels contain what are called time cracks, areas where the flow of time distorts. In these zones, minutes can become days. Years can pass in an instant. Many wanderers fall into these distortions and emerge decades older, or as children, unable to speak, staring blankly at walls. These are called the lost children. They're not entities in the traditional sense. But if you see one, turn around. They're often followed by something worse. Something that feeds on regret. Brain, the memory worm. It doesn't eat your body. It eats your mind. The memory worm is not a physical creature, but a parasitic presence. It enters through dreams or moments of intense nostalgia. At first, it shows you visions, childhood homes, old friends, lost lovers. You start to forget where you are, forget you're even in the Backrooms. Then, you forget your name, your past, your purpose. Wanderers infected by the memory worm become husks. They wander aimlessly, repeating the same words. Sometimes smiling, sometimes crying. There is no known way to remove the worm. The only defense: don't sleep in the Backrooms. Ever. Cyclone what connects all these entities. Why do they mimic our fears, our memories, our identities? Some believe the Backrooms are not just a space, but a consciousness, feeding on emotion, shaping itself around our psyche. And the entities? Merely reflections of what we fear most. The endless maze of decaying, yellow-stained walls stretches infinitely in every direction. The fluorescent lights buzz with a hollow hum, flickering intermittently, casting eerie shadows that seem to dance just beyond your vision. The musty smell of damp carpet and stale air fills your lungs, making every breath feel heavier. They say no one knows how you end up in the Backrooms. Some believe it's a glitch in reality itself, a place between dimensions, a forgotten liminal space where time slows and logic dissolves. Others claim it's a collective nightmare, shared by those who have slipped too far from the safety of the known world. As you wander through this endless labyrinth, the silence becomes oppressive. Occasionally, you hear distant echoes, soft whispers, or the faint scuffling of footsteps that seem to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. The deeper you go, the stranger the environment becomes. Rooms morph without warning. Peeling wallpaper gives way to rusted metal corridors. Ceiling tiles crumble, revealing endless darkness above. But beware, something lurks in the shadows. Strange entities, barely visible, sometimes watching from the corner of your eye. Some explorers report feeling an overwhelming dread, a chilling sensation that something is stalking them just out of sight. Others vanish without a trace, swallowed whole by the endless corridors. The Backrooms are a nightmare with no exit, a prison made of faded yellow walls and broken fluorescent lights. Escape seems impossible. And yet, the faint hope of finding a way out keeps you moving forward, step by uncertain step, deeper into the maddening maze. Will you succumb to the silence? Or will you find the courage to confront the unknown and survive the endless nightmare of the Backrooms? As you press onward, time loses all meaning. Minutes stretch into hours, hours fade into days, if you can even trust your own sense of time anymore. The environment seems to shift subtly, rearranging itself when you're not looking. Hallways loop back on themselves, rooms vanish, and new corridors appear, as if the backrooms themselves are alive and toying with you. Some survivors have reported finding cryptic messages scrawled on the walls, warnings or pleas for help left by others who came before. But these messages are often fragmented, written in hastily scratched handwriting, fading into oblivion. One such note read simply, "Don't trust the lights." Because the lights are not just flickering bulbs overhead. They are beacons, luring you deeper into zones even more terrifying and incomprehensible. Beyond the yellow hallways lie countless levels, each stranger and more dangerous than the last. Some say there are infinite levels, some haunted by grotesque entities, others eerily silent, but no less deadly. In the darkest corners, you might glimpse shadowy figures, humanoid shapes that move just beyond your peripheral vision. Some explorers call them owls, others whisper of faceless, entities with no faces, forever searching for lost wanderers to trap or consume. The rules of this place are unclear. One wrong move, one misplaced step, and you might become part of the backrooms forever. But there are also rumors of escape, rare and fleeting. Stories of people who found staircases, doors, or even cracks in reality that led back to the real world. These tales are few and often dismissed as hallucinations or madness. Yet, they offer the faintest glimmer of hope for those trapped in the endless maze. The backrooms are more than a place. They are a test of will, sanity, and survival. Each step forward is a step deeper into the unknown, where every sound, every shadow, might mean the difference between life and eternal entrapment. The deeper you descend into the backrooms, the more surreal and hostile the environment becomes. Colors fade into sickly hues of green and gray. The smell shifts from damp carpet to the metallic tang of rust and decay. Some levels are flooded with shallow, stagnant water that chills your bones, while others resemble endless warehouses filled with broken machinery and crates piled impossibly high. Explorers warn that sound behaves strangely here. Echoes bounce endlessly, distorting the direction of footsteps and whispers. Your own breathing becomes a deafening roar in your ears, or sometimes disappears altogether, leaving an unnatural silence that gnaws at your mind. Sleep is a dangerous trap. Those who try to rest find their dreams invaded by strange figures, nightmares so vivid they feel real. Waking becomes a relief, but exhaustion drags on relentlessly, blurring the line between consciousness and the maddening void. Some claim to have found makeshift camps, remnants of previous wanderers who left behind tattered supplies and notes. These camps are often marked by symbols carved into walls or floor, warnings for others to stay away, or signs pointing towards exits that may or may not exist. Among the most terrifying tales are those of the Smilers, creatures with glowing, predatory eyes and sinister grins, always watching from dark corners. They don't chase. Instead, they stalk, waiting patiently for their victims to falter. The backrooms don't just threaten your body, they erode your mind. Isolation, endless monotony, and creeping paranoia set in. Time loses meaning, and reality warps until you question your own sanity. Some who wander the backrooms describe encountering other lost souls, faint figures who appear briefly in the distance, only to vanish when approached. Are they fellow explorers, trapped like you? Or something else entirely? Communication is nearly impossible. Voices are distorted and fragmented, leaving only fleeting impressions of human contact in a place that feels overwhelmingly lonely. Then there are the zones where physics itself breaks down. Gravity shifts, rooms tilt impossibly, and walls ripple like liquid. Some explorers speak of glitches, moments when reality flickers, revealing glimpses of the world beyond the backrooms, or even brief visions of other dimensions. One chilling account tells of a man who found a door marked exit in bright red letters, only to step through and emerge back into the same yellow hallway where he started, trapped in an endless loop. Others have followed faint lights or sounds, only to discover they were lures, leading them into deeper, more dangerous levels. Theories abound about the origin of the backrooms. Some say it is the result of a failed experiment in quantum physics or virtual reality, a corrupted layer between worlds. Others believe it is a supernatural prison for forgotten souls, or a manifestation of collective fear and liminal space. Despite the horror, some hold on to hope. They map their paths meticulously, leaving signs and marks to navigate the maze. They share stories and warnings, trying to piece together the rules of this cruel labyrinth. But one truth remains clear. The backrooms are an endless nightmare, a place where the walls watch, the lights flicker with malevolence, and escape is a distant, uncertain dream. The last escape from the backrooms. Ethan woke up suddenly, the harsh buzz of flickering fluorescent lights filling his ears. He was lying on a stained, damp carpet, surrounded by yellowed walls stretching endlessly in every direction. Panic gripped him as he realized he had no idea how he got here, or even where here was. At first, Ethan tried to find an exit, walking cautiously down the maze-like corridors. The silence was suffocating, broken only by his own footsteps and the faint hum of the lights. Then came the whispering, soft, distant, calling his name in voices that seemed both familiar and alien. He tried to ignore it, but the whispers grew louder, forming urgent pleas and warnings. "Don't trust the lights," one voice hissed. "They watch," another warned. One hallway led him to a figure, a tall humanoid with a smooth, featureless face. Ethan froze, heart hammering in his chest as the entity slowly advanced, stalking him without haste but with terrifying persistence. He ran blindly, turning corners that seemed to shift behind him, until he found himself back at the same yellow room where he began. Exhausted and desperate, Ethan discovered a door painted red with the word "Exit." Hope surged through him as he grasped the handle, but stepping through only returned him to the start of the endless maze. Days, or was it weeks, passed. Time became meaningless. Ethan marked the walls, leaving messages for any other lost souls. Beware the lights. Beware the faceless. Finally, in a rare moment of clarity, he noticed subtle flickers in the air, glitches in reality itself. Gathering all his courage, Ethan followed these glitches, moving toward a faint shimmer in the distance. The walls rippled like water, and as he stepped through, the oppressive hum faded. He was outside, breathing the cool night air, under an open sky he hadn't seen in forever. But as he looked back at the empty building behind him, he couldn't shake the feeling that something had followed him out, a pair of glowing eyes watching silently from the shadows. Ethan's relief was short-lived. Days after escaping the backrooms, strange things began happening. Shadows moved at the edge of his vision. Unexplained noises echoed in empty rooms. The whispering returned, faint at first, then growing louder, more insistent. One night, he found a message carved into the wall of his apartment: "You can never truly leave." Panic set in. Was the backrooms a place? Or a curse? Had something followed him into his reality? Determined to fight back, Ethan started researching everything he could about the backrooms: legends, sightings, survivors' stories. He discovered chilling accounts of others who escaped, only to be haunted, driven mad, or vanish without a trace. His dreams became battlegrounds where shadowy figures chased him endlessly through endless yellow halls. The line between nightmare and waking blurred. One evening, he awoke to find a yellowed slip of paper on his bedside table. Written in shaky handwriting were the words, "Find the glitch. It's the only way." Ethan realized that the backrooms were not just a place he had left behind, they were a part of him now. The glitch, the flicker between worlds, was his only hope to truly escape the nightmare for good. His journey was far from over. Determined to confront whatever was haunting him, Ethan began to study the flickers, the glitches, that he sometimes caught in the corner of his eye. They appeared as brief distortions of reality, like ripples on a still pond, revealing glimpses of the endless yellow halls. He set up cameras, recording devices, and sensors in his apartment, desperate to capture evidence of these anomalies. Nights blurred into restless vigils, watching screens for any sign of movement or distortion. One night, as the clock struck midnight, the air around him shimmered. The walls seemed to pulse and breathe. A low hum filled the room, growing louder and more insistent. Suddenly, a doorway appeared, not in the walls, but in the very fabric of reality itself. A shimmering portal, flickering between his world and the endless maze. Ethan hesitated, fear and hope battling within him. This was his chance to return, to confront the source of the curse, or perhaps to be trapped forever. Steeling himself, he stepped through. Ethan hesitated just a moment before pushing open the black door. A blinding light spilled out, overwhelming his senses. For a heartbeat, he felt weightless, suspended between worlds. Then he tumbled forward, and suddenly he was somewhere else. The buzzing lights and yellow walls vanished. Instead, he found himself standing in a quiet, empty room with a single window. Outside, the sun was setting, casting warm hues over a familiar cityscape. Relief flooded him, but it was short-lived. As he turned, he caught a glimpse of a shadow flickering behind the window, a dark silhouette watching, waiting. The whispers returned, softer now, but no less chilling. "You escaped, but we never forget." Ethan realized the backrooms weren't just a place to escape from. They were a part of him now, a darkness lurking just beneath the surface, ready to pull him back in at any moment. His nightmare had ended, but the story was far from over.